What's up? Welcome to the show. I'm feeling it. I'm dragging today. I'm not going to lie. It's been one of those days.
You good?
COVID has gotten the best of me. Not that I have COVID. I'm saying everything that's going on with COVID. I think my solution is just shut everything the hell down. Mm-hmm. If you are not an essential worker, keep your ass at home. As essential as in we need you out of the house. Like the people at the grocery store, the people in the hospitals, like essential workers. Not the person at Fantastic Sam's. We don't need you at work. That's not necessary. Because I feel like we're piecemealing this whole thing together. You know what I mean? Like from the very beginning, we were like, the country is partially shut down. The Midwest wasn't, the West Coast was, some places in the South. It's just like, it just didn't make any sense. And so now here we are, 8, 9, 10 months into this thing, and we're still piecemealing it together. Yeah. Well, how about we don't go out after 10 o'clock? Who the hell is out at 10 o'clock anyway? Especially in LA, this whole place shuts down. Anyway, that's just my quick rant.
It's dumb.
So sitting in with me today, of course, is Lena.
What up?
She gets no hand claps. She get these hand claps.
That's not right. See how you do me, butterfly?
And running the show is Butterfly. Butterfly's like, I ain't do it. With her lopsided bun, which I think is dope. I said lopsided is in, but I mean, that's
be asymmetrical.
Yeah. I think anything that is too straight is boring, but that's just, again, my own personal opinion.
Again, with people too.
Yeah. So let's jump right into my current situation. Why don't we do that real quick? I'm gonna wait for that. Bing. Yeah, it ain't there. See, we'll get to the sounder for the, there we go. Something like that. I find myself at odds with myself. Let me explain. Let me unpack and explain. And let me be very clear about something. This has to do with something that Candace Owens said. This is what sparked my thoughts and my feelings about this. Understand out the gate, I'm not a fan of Candace. I am not a fan of Candace. I've never met her.
Jesus Christ.
But I don't like her because of the things that she says. I don't like you at all, Candace. Not even a little bit. However, the thing that I find myself in flux about is that she made a comment. And I'm going to tell you exactly what she said. And because I don't want to get it wrong, let me put my specs on. She said, there is no society that can survive without strong men. The East knows this. In the West, which is where I live, the steady feminization of our men at the same time Marxism is being taught to our children is not a coincidence. It is an outright attack. Bring back manly men.
Say what?
Where do I begin? So I'm going to leave the Marxism thing alone. I want to get into the manly men. The reason I am flummoxed by this, and by the way, with the tweet, because that's what she did. She posted this as a tweet. She posted a picture of Harry Styles. I don't know if you guys saw this or not. And he's wearing a dress.
Oh, yeah. I saw that.
So I don't like you, Candace. I don't. However, I feel in some ways she has a point. Now, I am a firm believer in that you should be able to live your life the way that you want to. It is your life. You got one and that's it. But I do kind of feel just a smidgen that men are getting softer.
No, you're right.
With every, I don't even want to say decade. I mean, every 5 years, they move the line as to what is acceptable. Now we're at a point where we are redefining the roles in gender, right? Mm-hmm. And that's fine. The problem is what happens to the people like myself, right? Generation X, the boomers, in terms of everything that we were taught. Because I was taught by my daddy, don't ever take care of a man, which implied that it is the man's responsibility to take care of the house. Now, I understand due to systemic racism and things of that nature, we do have an imbalance. Black women specifically are making more money than some black men. We're far more educated nowadays. All of that, right? But I still kind of believe in some of that. I still believe, for me personally, I'm a bit traditional, right? I'm a little conservative. I'm a lot more liberal, but I'm a little conservative. I want him to open the door. I don't want to take the trash out. I don't want to mow the grass. Not that I can't. I can. I don't want to. I don't want to get my hands dirty. Come change my oil. Put some gas in my car. Let me sit and be cute.
Right.
But those are gender roles that I grew up with, that they are now saying is listed as toxic masculinity.
Yeah, I think there's a whole bunch of crap.
Yeah. So
I think that, and it's crazy because I feel like gender roles, people always want to be equal when it's convenient for them. Sometimes, and then when it's not convenient for them, then they want to scream, oh, whatever. I feel like, I mean, to a certain, and then we want men to treat us a particular way, but then we want to the gender roles thing. So we can't have it both ways.
Well, see, I think that's more about gender equality. I'm speaking more specifically about the roles of men and women, i.e., I'm okay with a man wearing a dress. I just don't want to be on a date with him when he has his heels on. If a man wants to wear Jimmy Choos and, put on some nice pants, that's his business. Mm-hmm. But for me, it screams feminine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's whereas they don't want that label. It's all preference. Yeah. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. But for me, I don't look at that and see a man. I see a man who's more interested in the feminine side of things, right. Be it fashion, be it sex, whatever. Yeah. And that's your business.
Right. And people keep missing the mark when it comes to toxic masculinity. It's not about gender roles specifically. It's about how toxic it is growing up as a man. Like, you can't cry. Right. You can't show emotion. That's the toxic masculinity. Right. It's not necessarily the gender roles.
The reason why I say gender roles is because you think a man is supposed to act a particular way, and because he's a man, which means that's his role. And when he doesn't, you criticize and shame him for that. i.e., when Terry Crews got into all of that drama, the fact that we felt that here he was lifting weights and he was looking a particular way, we felt he should have acted a particular way because he's a man. Right. And a man is not supposed to, according to gender roles, allow another man to treat him that way. Right. And so he felt that fell under toxic masculinity because you're making me feel as though in order to be masculine, I have to be this particular way. Yep. Hence gender roles. Right. Me personally, I don't really buy into toxic masculinity.
Me neither.
Only because, and again, it's your preference. But I grew up thinking that a man is supposed to protect me. Now, I'll take my earrings off and fight you if I need to. I don't want to. But I can try to protect myself and do a pretty good damn job of it. However, I believe that it is a man's job to protect me. And if he doesn't, then I'm going to feel like he's a pussy.
Right.
Now you could call that toxic masculinity. I'm going to call that we're not going out on a date again.
Yep.
me neither. I'm not dating. I don't care if even if you don't wear a dress to the date, if I find out that you wear a dress when I'm not around, I'm not dating you. It's not happening.
If I catch you in my panties.
Imagine.
We gonna fight.
Imagine.
I can't. But I get it. A lot of parents are raising their kids to believe that you can be whatever you want, we'll wait until you're old enough to decide if you want to be a boy or a girl. I think that's cool for you, but for me, because what that requires me to do is to unlearn everything I was taught, from biology to just, just everything. That means my mom and daddy lied to me is what I have to be willing to accept if I agree with the new norm.
Like, how do you do research on somebody who doesn't necessarily know what they are. Like,
well, you do it
okay.
according to history and according to precedent.
Right.
You do it what's in the book. So even though you may chop your penis off, right? When they look at you in x-rays, you have the bones of a man.
Right.
Period. There's no way around it. When they dig your body up when you die, they're going to look at your jawbone, they're going to look at your hip bone, and they're going to know if you were male or female. I don't give a damn what you thought you were. Now, I think there is a difference between how you feel and maybe physically what you display.
Right.
I think that can be possible, but I am of the firm belief that if you were born a man, but you feel like a woman, and in the eyes of the law, we have to treat you like a woman, I believe that I can say I might be of a certain age, but I feel younger.
But I don't understand what's wrong about saying that you're a female or a male. I don't understand why the whole what is it? Is it binary?
Non-binary.
I don't get it. Like, you could be whatever you want, but at the end of the day, that's what you are. Like, I don't get what's.
Well, first of all, you have to look at the system that we're set up on. Our whole system in the world, the whole system is set up man and woman. Everything,
right,
from clothes to jewelry to jobs to everything is set up male female. Yeah. Everything,
right?
Restrooms, it's just everywhere you go. When you fill out an application, your birth certificate, although in some states, i.e. New York, they're now allowing you to decide whether you want to be male or female. Some credit card companies are even allowing you to say, you can say that you're actually a female if you're really a man, and they're okay with that.
Right.
But for me, at some point, there has to be something that's called fact.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're all just floating and saying that I am whatever I feel I am today.
Right. I'm not calling you they. Hey, they.
Yeah, they, them.
I'm just not.
They're over there. It's so difficult. But again, that requires me to unlearn everything and that even goes to now when I go to write a book.
Yeah.
My pronouns are all screwed up. I can't even read this out loud. Mm-hmm. So that's my current situation, is that I feel, first of all, I can't believe that I'm agreeing with Candace Owens. Just a smidgen, not totally, because I know she did that shit to be messy. I'm not being messy. I'm being honest. Yikes. So, all of that to say, don't tell me to shut up. All of that to say, I don't want my man to wear a dress. I want him with some breeches.
Right.
And preferably in some Air Force Ones. That's just me. So no shout out to you, Candace Owens. Anyway, let's move on now that I've worked myself up. That's really got me hot. I'm serious. It does. Because, it's so confusing to me.
Mm-hmm. It is.
And then I feel like every so many months or every year or so, there's a new letter being added that now I have to try to understand that. And while we're talking about it, let's dig into this really quick, and then we'll move on to my observation. This ain't that. This is an extension, an addendum, if you will, to my current situation. To me, it makes more sense that you understand that I don't understand what the hell is going on with that whole system. In order for me to respect it, help me understand it. So if I have questions about it, don't be offended if I get something wrong, especially if I'm not trying to be malicious. I want to learn. Why all the letters? And if you are if you are a girl who identifies as a guy, why do you like guys? And what does that mean? Like, there's so many different variations of it, and it changes so often. How the hell do you expect me to catch up? But then when I say I don't understand it, you get mad at me, and it's a problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Meanwhile, if I go to visit the queen and I don't understand the proper protocol, they don't get mad. They explain it to me. Do not touch the queen. Don't turn your back on the queen. And I'm like, but why? Well, let me tell you why.
Yeah.
So I think it would be less friction if we were allowed to ask questions.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. I have quite a few friends just in the LGBTQ plus whatever community. Yeah. And so it really is one of those things, like, you really have to find the people that aren't going to get offended.
Yeah, but a lot of them do, though. A lot of them.
They do. They get really sensitive about it because to them, when you don't understand, it's like a trigger.
Yeah.
It's like to their families or friends who didn't understand, people who, bullied them.
Yeah.
It's
well, what's interesting is you just started to understand it. Like you just, which is why most of them just come out of the closet or they just begin to speak about it because they're just understanding how they're feeling. So if you're just understanding it, how the hell do you expect us to understand it? And again, that's no shade. My thing is, I swear I believe this to my soul. I believe wholeheartedly that you only have so many summers on this planet. So many. Use them the way you want to. So if you are a female and you want to love another female, do it. Do it to your heart's content. If you are a dude who identifies as a woman, but you still like women, do that. Do whatever you want to. But don't be offended if I don't understand and I have a simple question as, what does the Q stand for? And what's the difference between queer and gay? I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm trying to understand so that I can better respect you and your position.
Yeah.
So don't get all up in your panties.
Yeah.
Or
it took me forever to understand the Q. It took me forever. I literally just understood it this year.
Well,
I don't get it.
I had a cousin that said on Facebook, "Oh, I'm pansexual." Like, I'm like, what is the difference between a pansexual and a bisexual?
So funny thing, I used to think pansexual meant that you were sexually attracted to inanimate objects. Just 'cause that's like literally what my brain went to.
Butterfly. No. We gonna put a pin right there real quick. No buts. We gonna slow down real quick. You thought what? Sexually attracted to inanimate objects? What the fuck?
Hear me out. There are people who are sexually attracted to animals.
I get that. And to inanimate objects. But how the hell did you go with pansexual to mean that?
Pan, like a cooking pan.
Let's move on to let's get on to my observation. I can't. She said a pan, as in a frying pan. I can't. Yeah, don't tell me to shut up. Tell her to shut up. And I've learned now. So academic. No, that was just downright dumb.
I've learned since
you said a pan. I was hoping you weren't going to say that, but you did.
I did.
All right, drinks for everybody. So let's move on to my my observation, my current observation. Matter of fact, so. This is really not about the person who said it, but I'm going to say who said it because I think it's important. What are y'all whispering about? Here's what's funny about podcasts and cameras. People in the room think because they're not the ones talking that we can't see them, but the camera is still on you, which means...
No, she's asking me a question. So
I know, but I'm saying the camera, in terms of what's being seen, shows you talking as I'm talking.
Gotcha.
It's not like because I'm the one talking, the camera's not pointed on you. It's not that kind of show. Cameras are on everybody.
I got you.
So is there anything you'd like to share with the class?
No. I was asking me where something was. So I was answering her. Well, go ahead.
Okay, so let's just get back over here. So, that made me lose my train of thought.
The current observation.
I know that, but my train of thought was, this is what happens. You just have to drink and hope it comes back.
It will.
Now I remember. So I want to read what the person said, and because I have to give them credit for saying it, because I didn't say this. But the topic is not about who said it, but rather it just brings up questions about what was said. Again, I'm going to go to my glasses because I want to get this right. Erica Campbell said the following: you can't sow hoe seeds and reap marriage benefits. Your brain and body don't switch like that. You got to prepare your mind for marriage because it's a ministry. Hoe seeds, you can't sow those and reap marriage benefits. I have so many questions about it. And again, no disrespect to Erica. You know, she's married. Her and her husband have a great ministry. We actually are under the same parent company as far as radio is concerned. And I get it, you know, she also came back and said, listen, I wasn't trying to shade anybody. her marriage is a ministry and she wants people to understand that biblically speaking, that you can't be a hoe and sow seeds and reap marriage benefits, basically. Now, here's my issue with that. Marriage benefits. What are they? What are the benefits of marriage? Because I'm sure there are some, and I am not saying that there are not. But most of the people that I know who are married have more complaints than they do anything else. And again, that's not to say that they're not happily married. I'm just saying I hear more complaints. No sex, no understanding, always nagging, somebody's never home. Like I hear good things to it, so I'm not knocking marriage, right? I've said it before. I've been very open to say I'm not quite sure it is for me. I would much rather have a partnership the way that Oprah and Stedman do. Just my thing. Anyway, back to these hoe seeds and the marriage benefits. So basically what she is saying, I'm assuming, this is just my understanding of it, is you can't hoe around and then expect to be able to get married and have a good marriage. You need to save yourself for marriage. I'm just gonna lay prostrate before the altar and sprinkle myself with the blood of the lamb and olive oil and anything else. Because here's my thing. When you look back, even in the Bible, right? There was a lot of people in the Bible who were hoeing. A lot of people sleeping with people who weren't their wives. So if they are included in the Bible, right? And you have key figures who slept with them outside of their marriage, wouldn't that make them hoes?
Yep.
Yeah.
And a few of them were God's favorite. So why would God call someone his favorite if he was hoeing?
Yep.
It's just so many, like the hypocrisy for me is somebody has to make you a hoe. Right? It takes two people to hoe. You can't just be a hoe by yourself.
Yeah.
You hoeing with somebody.
Right.
So it takes an active participant to hoe you out.
Yes. And
Right?
it's like one of those things where it's like, I saw something on Facebook. It was like, if a man thinks that your value is lower after he touched you, then he needs to figure out what's going on with his hands.
Because perhaps he devalued you.
Damn.
But my point is, I really feel like a lot of these patriarchal kind of, I don't know, views, because I feel they're really slated against women, because you don't call men hoes. Not really. That's really like a female thing. I'm sorry, my dog is chewing on something and I was just a little nervous. Anyway, I feel like, again, most boys are taught to go out and sow your wild oats. But when women sow, they're called hoe seeds. It irritates me and rubs me the wrong way. I think that I know plenty chicks who hold out and not only happily married, they've been married for like 30 years or more. And I mean, hoed out. I got the receipts. Don't ask me how I got them. Just know that I've got them. And the same thing goes for men. I know men who've hoed out and are happily married. So I'm trying I'm trying to figure out what are the marriage benefits of not, for lack of a better way of saying it, having a good time before you get married.
Yep.
I mean, I ain't no virgin, so if you looking to marry me, just know I'm a little scuffed up. I'm still good though.
That's a bit judgmental.
I mean, I think it is a bit judgmental. And I think really in this day and age, can you really be celibate?
I have a friend who currently is, but for her like own, and not for anybody and not for any type of religion or like to get married. It's for like a spiritual wound.
Well, see, that's
healing.
different. That's totally different to
Yeah.
me. That really is for self, as opposed to I'm saving myself for a man. Like, to me, even the way that sounds, it just reeks of desperation and almost like,
The Catholic Church.
yeah. And for
But-
me, not even from a religious aspect, like they are up here and I'm saving myself to be so good enough for them. And in my mind, I'm like, just because you're a virgin or because you're celibate doesn't mean that you're better than anybody else.
Yeah.
You're still gonna have your shit.
But
And-
what's crazy is I think it sets you up for a lot of disappointments, because I think that sex
Well,
in itself-
sexually, first
yeah,
of all.
no, exactly. I think sex is a very important part of any of relationship, especially a long-term relationship like marriage. You know. a
Well, the other
commitment.
thing is, though,
So
sometimes you can't miss what you've never had. So if you don't have anything to compare it with,
well, I mean,
you really won't know what's good, what's not. But I think what happened, and this is just my opinion, I think the more sex you have, the more sex you want to have, right?
that's true. But
So you don't know about the dude who can hang you from the chandelier because you never had him.
no, that's true. But but also when it comes to the man, it's because I think if you, as a woman, you also learn things. Or if you feel like you're not necessarily good at a particular thing, you may try to either get better at it, so you'll be able to satisfy your.
But how will
dude.
you know what you're not good at if you've never, if this is the first time you're doing it?
But I'm talking
Maybe
about from
watching
the dude's
movies
perspective.
and
I'm
stuff.
sure your dude is not a virgin.
That's
Of
what I
course
was
not.
gonna say. It's like you're saving yourself
So-
for somebody who didn't
Who
save
did-
themselves for you.
Yeah.
Right. But that's
It's like
why
if you're
I
gonna do that,
said,
be with the person who also is saving themselves for
which
marriage.
takes me back to my original point. Guys are taught to sow their wild oats. Women
Right.
are called hoes when they do it.
Yeah.
That goes back to my original thing. But I think that there is some merit in saying you can't miss what you never had until you start having conversations with your girlfriends after you start having sex and you say, well, is he good? Is he big? Is he small? Is he this or he that? You never think about those things until somebody brings it to your attention.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean? It's like eating at the Olive Garden your whole life. You think that's the best Italian food ever because you don't know any better. And you still think it's great and brag about how you go every Sunday until you go to a Carbone in New York. And then you're like, what the fuck have I been eating for the past 10 years? Why did I think Olive Garden was so fucking good? It's not. It's shit. No disrespect, Olive Garden. Your breadsticks are the bomb.
No, they are.
But you won't
Yeah.
really know until so that means you would have to step outside of your marriage or your relationship that you were saving yourself for to get a taste of something that you never had, to be able to compare the two and say, damn, I thought he was laying it on me and he wasn't. He was just laying.
Mhm.
Right.
But still, I think the point goes back to, why are you saving yourself for someone who did not save themselves for you? And even though again, I do believe that there is something to, if you decide I've hoed enough. I don't even like saying hoe. If you've just decided I've had one too many partners and now I'm my emotions are all over the place, and if you believe in energies and all of that, the seed that is now in you and all of that, maybe you want to have a type of spiritual cleansing and you say, I'm going to be celibate for my own sanity.
Mhm.
I think that's a totally different thing. But to say I'm going to save myself for marriage, I do believe it's a big letdown. I do agree with you on that I think you're setting yourself up for what you think is going to be, something romantic and something where you're going to, be happily ever after. I think you're going to be pissed as hell that you saved yourself all those years and now all you do is drink. That's just my thought on that. Not that it means anything, but it's true. Now you sitting at home because you thought your man was going to be everything. And I think that we as women put too much thought into that.
Mhm.
We say, you know what I hate more than anything? I hate when people say, I'm going to do this or that when. And I don't care what it is.
We all know.
You can substitute whatever that is. I'm going to wait and wear this when. I'm going to use these dishes when, or whenever I get a size 6, then, or whenever I get the right man, then. I hate all of that. I think that you should meet yourself where you are and make the best of your life at that moment, because you don't know that there's going to be a win. And then you will have spent your entire life waiting for something that never came. So I believe in wearing that red lipstick that you were saving for a special occasion. Even if you're going to the grocery store, wear those shoes, eat off those china plates, all of that stuff. Use that furniture. Everything in my house is usable.
Right.
Everything. Because I don't believe in buying things just to look at or just to save for whatever, including my vajayjay. We ain't saving that. What we saving it for? What we waiting on? Girl, bye. What do we? Sharon. Sharon is my girl. She gets it. She understands totally. That's where I got it from. What you holding it for? What's the point? And you talk to any dude and he'll say, I don't want a virgin. Guys will say that because they feel as though, well, first of all, they feel as though when they sleep with you and you're a virgin, now you're going to follow them around like a wet puppy.
I think guys want a virgin when they're like in high school.
In 20s. Yeah.
But I think even then you want it because if you don't know what you're doing, they won't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's also an ego thing to be able to say, I took her virginity. But nobody wants a virgin. You want somebody who can pow, 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 lay you out, know all the tricks. That's what men are looking for.
Even Bella's like, what?
Bella's like, I know. Let's move on quick.
Yes.
Don't tell me to shut up. Sharon, you got my back? I thought so.
Bella wants to sign so bad.
So let's get to some cocktail therapy. This is when I get into my cocktail jar here and pull out a topic and talk about it and give you a nice little drink to go with it. That's what I do. Shake it up, shake it up. Let's see. This is Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion shooting.
Well, what's the current news on it?
The current news is he pled not guilty. He also said he didn't do it. She also said, yes, you did. That's basically where we stand.
Also, he could get 23 years in prison.
Well, listen, here's the other thing. He had a gun in his possession when they caught him.
Yep.
And you have a chick who has a bullet wound. I mean, shit. I don't know what else you need. But this is what I want to do. I want to throw this out and pull another one because I don't want to talk about them no more. Damn! Sharon said I could, and that's my girl. Let's move on to something else. I'm so over that. By the way, Megan, I love you. I think you're the bomb. I think you're the shit. Michael B. Jordan, the sexiest man alive? Let me tell you something. First of all, you know what?
What you got a drink for that?
I have a drink for that. It's called, I'm just going to keep sipping my wine. You know why? Wine is sexy. Every other liquor makes you turn up. Wine, you mess around, your ass will be asleep somewhere because it's like a chill kind of, sexy. You move slow when you drink it. You think you're looking cute and you look stupid. Anyway, I think if this is no shade, okay? I'm gonna take my glasses off. If John Legend can be the sexiest man alive, anybody can. I mean, he got hips bigger than mine, wider than mine. I love you, John, but I'm just saying. And listen, there's a pot for every kettle, right? I mean, there is. And I mean, him and Chrissy make a beautiful couple.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about relationship goals. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. They are fantastic together. But when they named him the sexiest man alive, and I looked at them stubby fingers and those hips, I was like, what the fuck?
Don't do John
when
like
you
that.
look at the come on, you had The Rock, you had Matthew McConaughey, you had,
one of the Chris's,
David Beckham. You had some sexy men, and you come up with John Legend. After that, fair game. Hell, Jermaine Dupri could be the sexiest man.
What? No.
At this point, I mean, count it all joy. No, honestly, I'll say this. This is for real. I think Michael B. Jordan deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And I love Michael. I think he's the sexiest man alive, though.
Well, I mean, I think you have to look at it in terms of they choose it not necessarily alive as in, over. I don't know. I think they choose it per year, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think for that year, he's the sexiest guy. Because who else would you give him a run for? Who would give him a run for the money this year in 2020?
Yeah. Nobody in my book right now.
See how it's taking you a minute to think? That means that I can't think of anybody. Now, I personally don't think he's fine like that. And you know this. We've had this conversation.
Yeah, no, I mean,
he
I
ain't
love
really.
my-
I mean, he's a nice looking dude. I mean, he just not for me.
He's in my Get It book. You know,
When
that,
you-
you know what I'm saying?
give it to him
High
then,
up there,
'cause I'm not
high
going
up
to.
there in the Get It book.
Yeah,
Sherman Oaks. We gotta find his house. Let's do it.
No, I'm not gonna look for his house. You're gonna get a restraining order. Is what you're gonna get. I'm not doing that with you. I don't do that. You come find me. But Michael, no. But I think he's the sexiest man alive at the moment? Yes. Now ask me again in 2021. We'll see. And the fact that you can't name anybody else to take his place. I mean, so if you're on the committee, sitting around the table, and you're quiet the way you are now, we're gonna go with Michael B. Jordan. I mean,
swaggy.
Beautiful smile. He clearly uses crest. We know that.
Yeah.
He's doing the push-ups. I saw a before and after picture of his come up. You've come a long way, Michael B. Jordan. Butterfly, it would be great if you could find that picture and post it so they could see what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
He's come a long way from where he was. So, Michael B. Jordan, sexiest man alive. I'll toast to that. Because I can't think of anybody else who'd be in that spot.
No, that's true.
Jason Mimosa.
Oh, no, I don't like him.
You don't?
I don't.
No, I think he's very
Why?
sexy.
I don't think he's
too.
sexy at all.
I mean, he looked dirty, but in a sexy way.
That Pacific Islander.
I think that's what it is, which is why I like The Rock.
They
See,
have
I
a vibe to them that's
I
just
don't
like,
like The Rock
ooh.
either.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Anyway, Michael
They
B.
made
Jordan.
some beautiful kids. Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. They made some beautiful kids.
Yeah, they did.
Man,
Yeah.
they're
They will.
gorgeous.
Well, she even made Zoe's.
Zoe?
Zoe's beautiful too.
Hello, Lenny Kravitz.
Yeah.
Yeah. She got the best of both parents.
I think
with
Lenny
that
Kravitz
one.
is sexy too. His legs are just too skinny for me.
Wasn't he named Sexiest Man Alive like a
Hell
couple
yeah,
years
and
ago?
rightfully so, because he's a sexy mother. Just saying. Anyway. So let's get to my Jasmine moment. I want to end the show by saying this. I've said a lot of shit. People are texting me. I guess they heard what I said. And really, I really want you to take away that I do really believe that you have the right to live your life however you want to. It may not appease me. Fuck me. I mean, it's your life. You live it how you want to. If you want to be considered a woman when you're a man, that's your business. If you want to be considered a man when you're a woman, that's your business. Love who you want. If you want to sow hoe seeds, hoe it up. Do your thing. Because at the end of the day, when you turn the lights off and you get in the bed in the morning, you have to look at yourself in the mirror, not me. And really, when I go to bed at night, I don't replay anyone else's words but mine. So fuck everybody. I mean, not literally. You know what I'm saying? But that's how I feel. So until next time, don't tell me to shut up. And I'll see you soon.